Was there a sense when it started, like now there's really a food revolution that's beginning to, that's continuing to gain popularity in society. And, local is important, sustainability is important. In the last 5 years, it's become really cool to be a farmer. It wasn't that way when we were kids. But did you have a sense that, that this thing was going to be this big?
Well, our goal was to try to transform the food system. But, we really weren't making much progress. We were kind of be nibbling at the edges. You'd say, oh, well, only 3% is organic or for the entire United States. But sure, that's what we were trying to do. But at one point, when organic kind of got big, a photographer came out and took a picture of me, and I was on the cover of Newsweek. And then the interesting thing that happened is that a lot of the other farmers started to go organic. It was getting big. We were already farming when we moved out here because as students at UC Davis, we had a project to start a farmer's market in the Central Park. 3 of us started the market together, and one of us had a friend who had land on Road 27, and he let us use 1 acre of land. And so we said, okay, the market's going to start on the middle of June next year. The City Council gave us permission, but let's make some money at this at the same time. And so we started to do a big garden. It was a biodynamic garden. And then we had all kinds of squash and cucumbers and everything picked for the first day of the market. But we didn't know if anyone was going to come. And when I turned the corner, as we were driving with our produce to the market, I saw 3 or 4 other farmers there. I saw, we're not the only ones there. And the whole market took off. The customers came. And then the next week, there were more farmers and more customers. The next week, more farmers and more customers. My grandparents were in upstate New York, and we just went to the farm for several summers, and I just loved it. And so even though we were raised in the suburbs, we had a really neat idea about the farm. And then, so basically we were back to the land hippies. I never thought what would happen to our farm. I mean, we just thought it was just this little farm to raise a family. We never knew the boys would take it to where they took it. Okay, so I was a 4-H'er and I raised chickens and eggs, okay? And I would sell the eggs door to door, so I was kind of like a junior businessman. And Mom was an ag major. She was always interested in farming. It was so neat to be able to get out and actually do something with your hands. And so that was, one big motivation for us to get into farming. We just loved it.
I remember. So my first memories at the farmer's market was, selling, I think it was a bunch of turnips. And the customer asked me why they were so expensive. And I said, well, they're organic. And she kind of looked at me with a puzzled expression and said, well, of course they're organic. They're organic matter. And this is in the 80s. Nobody knew what organically grown meant. So I said, no, they're organically grown. She said, what's that?
You think about the first market in California that was organic certified, and that was new then.
Yeah.
And now there's, 30,000 across the nation.
Right.
And it's interesting to me because you guys are that first generation, right? You're trying to get people to figure out what organic is. You're starting this new market. Nobody's done it. Brand new varieties that we're growing on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like we're kind of that second generation that, hey, people know what organic was. It doesn't quite mean what it meant back then.
Right.
But we're taking that flag and carrying the torch to that next generation of connecting the customer to the farm. And we're organic too, but we're more than that. We're beyond organic. We're that food revolution, connecting customers to the farms that grow their food in a transparent and convenient way. It's pretty exciting. What did organic mean in the 70s compared to now? Like, where do you feel like it's weaker? I mean, I feel like it's weaker.
I think some people, the word has been co-opted to a certain extent, and so I think the customers have to kind of look behind the word organic and find out exactly where their food is coming from. But the interesting thing is that we could only serve a small number of people as just a family farm, but what you boys are doing is trying to figure out how to scale the thing up to really make a serious impact and serve a whole lot of people and still be connected to family farms.
We're, now bringing our customers into our family farm in that way by using this new technology, internet and social media, and bringing people out for farm tours and trying to continue that connection to the land.